Hey there, warriors! DreamcastGuy just dropped a bombshell! PlayStation is ready to share their exclusive games across Xbox, PC, and even Nintendo Switch 2. This is wild! The walled garden approach is cracking. But, is this the end for PlayStation exclusives? Or just the evolution of the industry, baby? Now excuse me while I crack into the sun-kissed orange. I'm not sponsored in any way. I promise. I swear by the moons and the stars, I'm not sponsored. Let's cut through this hype and dig in, shall we?
Very much pissed off the entire internet, which is the fact that last night's PlayStation said something very, very strange. PlayStation officially said that the future of PlayStation isn't necessarily...
This is the best thing after a hot days of work, bro. I'm telling you. Oh, I can just see the water dripping off it, man. It's so good. Drink Sunkist if you haven't, y'all. I'm telling you.
Just playing games on your PS5, your PS6. It's actually about more than that. They said we're building a dedicated team to take the very best place.
Also, my bearded dragon bit the fuck out of me today. I've had that thing 8 years. It's never bit me. It was pure accident. He was probably a little bit hungry because I ran out of food. And I had blueberries sitting at the tip of my fingers because he usually likes to eat from my hand. And I woke him up to feed him, which was probably a mistake. So he was like really hungry and he was tired. So he just bit the fuck out of the tip of my fingers, drew blood. It scared me because I don't know how strong his bite is. I've never been bit by a bearded dragon before, or a lizard in general. And I screamed like a bitch. I was like, ah! And yeah, there's little scratch marks now, but yeah, that's my story for today. Let's get back into it.
PlayStation experiences and put them into other places like the Nintendo Switch 2, like PC, and to Xbox. They officially said we're going to be focusing more on putting PlayStation games on Xbox. And a lot of people are kind of trying to figure out what this actually means. Is this retro stuff? Is this live service stuff? Is this going to be every single game? Is Spider-Man going? Or is God of War going to Xbox? And I have to admit that this is an incredibly surprising thing. As a person that not only covers gaming, but has specifically covered PlayStation now for decades, it's wild to watch because historically...
He can't talk right, bro. Pacific...
Sony has had this tactic called the walled garden approach, which is that usually what they like to do is PlayStation is very, very defensive historically about...
I have a speech impediment, and I get annoyed listening to him. Jesus
They're
Christ.
exclusives. They're like, okay, do you want our stories? Do you want our world? Well, you got to come to our playground to play it, right? That's how they've always done it. In fact...
Come. Not come.
This is well known. A lot of PlayStation employees, PlayStation executives and stuff specifically were told not even to name their competitors when they're on camera. That's why when you see interviews with like Shuhei Yoshida and stuff, it always like, we're not concerned about our rivals, or we're not really concerned about market conditions. They would always phrase it, instead of saying, we've got better games than Xbox, they're straight up saying now like, hey, Xbox is an important part of the market. The Nintendo Switch 2 is an important part of the market, and here is how we're going to reach out to them in the future. Let's take a look at the statement.
Yeah, I mean, the old PlayStation garden is cracking. It's no surprise. Cash talks louder than pride, usually, know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the claim is PlayStation is breaking its exclusive walls, bringing games to Xbox and others. I mean, my only rebuttal is Sony's traditional exclusivity is legendary. They come to our playground or miss out tactic defined their brand for decades. DreamcastGuy nails this history well, but gaming budgets and market realities have changed. It's expensive to build these giant worlds, and it makes financial sense to widen distribution eventually.
And I want to take a look at a lot of the reactions, because the internet for the last 12 hours, ever since this job listing got posted, has been debating if this is a good thing, a bad thing, or honestly, the end of PlayStation. Let's talk. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, this is part of why I'm sort of shocked about this. So even yesterday,
he talks with his hands a lot, bro. It's kind of annoying too. Like, what if I was just like this all the time? Huh? Is that annoying? Well, that's what he does.
I did a video that essentially Xbox admitted that the only people buying Xbox games at this point are people on PlayStation. The top-selling Xbox game of the year is actually Forza on PS5.
You're annoying dipshit, bro.
Still incredibly weird to think about, but right now there is an entire parade of stuff getting ready to come out. There's talks that Halo is actually prepped and ready to go on PlayStation. Flight Simulator, Xbox Flight Simulator is coming to PlayStation apparently this year. Incredibly weird to think about, but
who gives a shit? Who cares? Who fucking cares, man? Seriously. Who gives a fuck?
A lot of people are saying, okay, gaming has changed because budgets are bigger, graphics are more expensive. Just across the board, gaming has changed in a way where it's harder to have that walled garden approach. You do have to kind of play nice because even if you're only getting 5-10% more sales, it's worth it to reach out to people. But here's the thing. Part of the reason I'm surprised about this is that PlayStation has sort of publicly been talking about how they're working on next gen. PlayStation is very much full steam ahead on PlayStation 6. They've actually even said publicly, they've released statements saying our full goal right now, our entire focus is basically prepping things for the PlayStation 6, which apparently is coming out roughly around 2027, 2028. But it sounds like Xbox is doing the same. They're currently trying to get ready for some sort of next-gen console wars. But what if what they do is instead, okay, we've got our games.
Forza on PS5 topping sales charts for Xbox is a crazy but kind of a telling sign. Both companies are slowly embracing this. Xbox tried luring players with Game Pass exclusives, but that tactic has limits. Now, Sony looks like it's trying a similar play, but from the other side. You want PlayStation games? Well, we'll bring them over, just don't forget our hardware. This feels like the start of a truce almost. Competition's real, but cooperation is the future, I feel like.
You've got your games, but every year, stuff jumps platforms. Say 2027. Let's say 2027, a big batch of PlayStation 6 games come out. Maybe late 2028, we see all those games start going to next-gen Xbox and vice versa, right? I still feel like, even then, I feel like this job listing conveys more than that. A lot of people are trying to say it's probably just live service games, because we know for a fact there is a lot of live service games already. This is a PlayStation Studios game.
Marathon.
This right here, Marathon, is a PlayStation Studios game. This is the official Xbox store. So there is already some PlayStation Studios first-party stuff on Xbox, but the listing to me...
Does this man ever wear a regular shirt?
It makes it sound like it's more than that. According to a job listing at Sony, their goal is to expand PlayStation Studio titles across Steam, Xbox, and Nintendo. And a lot of people are going, okay, what does this actually mean? You will play a critical role in this job to shape and execute the global commercial strategy for PlayStation Studios across all digital platforms, meaning PlayStation hardware, including Steam, Epic Games, Nintendo, Xbox, and mobile. Now, a lot of people are trying to sort of figure out what this means. This is Nib. I'm a big fan of Nib on Twitter. A lot of people like to hate on this guy. He talks a lot about basically loving PlayStation. I feel like I don't really count this as a fanboy account personally. Maybe there's some tweets I haven't seen, but he always just seems like he very much just loves PlayStation. It doesn't feel like he's trying to defend PlayStation. But again, maybe there's some like goofiness I haven't seen. But he says it like this. A job listing at Sony seeks the role of trying to expand things to Steam, Epic, Xbox, and Nintendo. There's no mention of this being limited to live service games. It does imply a staggered, not fully multi-platform day-and-date release like Xbox. Oversee the out-of-year, mid-range commercial strategy for PlayStation Studios and non-PlayStation platforms. So, to me, this does kind of make sense. I have to admit it's still wild to even consider this, but to me...
I mean, the job posting talks about expanding PlayStation games across Steam, Xbox, Nintendo, mobile, not just for a few live service titles, but a broad strategy. This is about squeezing every dollar out of huge development budgets, staggering releases to maximize profit, and meeting gamers where they are. Sony's clearly chasing long-term revenue streams, not just immediate console sales.
I think what PlayStation is trying to do games are just getting so expensive. Let's throw out a hypothetical. There's talks that next year we're getting some sort of new Spider-Man game called
This
Venom.
makes me want to throw up, man. He's so exhausting to listen to,
Going to be
bro.
a new Insomniac Spider-Man game. Apparently, it's already done. Apparently, Tony Todd recorded a bunch of lines for it before he passed away. Rest in peace. Huge Tony Todd fan. I want to play this Venom game, and we haven't even seen it yet. I'm super excited about it. There's actually leaks and stuff about it. But let's just say hypothetically. Okay, Venom game comes out 2026. It's fantastic. Everything's great. And then everybody's loving it. It sells, 7 million units, right? I think that's a good guess for what it's probably going to sell. Okay, sells 7 million units. And then they go, okay, we made back $300 million of the $300 million budget. We've broken even. Now let's put it on Steam. Okay, there's an extra 70 million. Okay, let's put it on Xbox. Even if they only make a couple million, I wonder if they're just doing that napkin math and saying, okay, that's more profitability. And I guess what their strategy is something I feel like Xbox has toyed with but been less successful with, which is, okay, here's our platform. Here's our exclusives. Now you want to come play with us, right? It seems like what Xbox's original idea was is, okay, if we give you some of these games, if you play the Gears of War Remake Collection, that's coming out here at the end of August, right? Okay, you're going to want that. Now, whenever Gears of War E-Day gets a release date on Xbox only, you're going to actually be tempted. Okay, do I want an Xbox? Do I want to upgrade my PC so I can play that on PC Game Pass? That seems like what Xbox's goal has been, but it hasn't really been successful. So I guess my thought is, will PlayStation be able to do it when Xbox couldn't? Will they really be able to go, okay, here's an awesome Spider-Man game. Here's an awesome God of War game. Here's an awesome, Crash Bandicoot remake, something, right? I guess that's not an exclusive anymore, but
Yeah, I mean, straightforward math. $300 million to make a game means you got to milk every platform to break even in profit. Sony's playing catch-up across platform reach, but with arguably stronger first-party IPs than Xbox's Game Pass lineup. I don't know, if you're Sony, why wouldn't you? Exclusive window, then open the floodgates, man. Fuck it.
my point is the fact that I wonder if this is still an attempt to try and coax the last Xbox gamers over to PlayStation, right? Because that does sort of seem to be the effort here. Now, some people are doing these super long threads trying to explain where it's not actually exclusives, that it's technically just certain games. But one of the things they talk about here is it does make it seem like we could get some stuff. The reason this still seems crazy to me is because I grew up during the 80s and 90s console wars, right? I mean, I grew up during a time where you could not even imagine getting Mario on the Sega Genesis or getting Sonic on the Super Nintendo, right? It's difficult to even imagine. It seems so impossibly preposterous. Or seeing Master Chief on the GameCube. It was just impossible. It was unfathomable. So
okay, move on now. We get it.
Seeing that today, I'm used to already the idea of seeing something like Master Chief coming to PlayStation. It's still really weird, but I think it'll be even more odd for me to see something like Uncharted. There's the Uncharted collection, right? Uncharted is fantastic. Uncharted is 10 out of 10 great. Love it. If they put Uncharted onto the Xbox, obviously people are going to love it there, but it also just feels odd. It just feels like, in a way, the end of PlayStation, because I have very much, in a way...
Oh, who gives a fuck, man? I'm so tired of this shit. The end of PlayStation... Oh my god, dude. I don't understand any of this.
so much identified PlayStation with that walled garden approach. I almost wonder myself if this ends up being not just back catalog, but retro stuff. It does seem like Xbox has way better backwards compatibility. When you have an Xbox Series X, it plays Xbox 360 games, it plays Xbox One games, it plays original Xbox games, right? It seems like they're more inclined to like that older stuff. It would be interesting if we started to see, what if we saw ports for those back catalog games? We have PlayStation Plus Premium. What if they start putting PS1 and PS2 games on there as well. It's a strange concept. I want to take a look at some of the reactions to it, because some of these accounts like Churi Intel, look at this. If you told someone 5-ish years ago the PlayStation and Xbox would stop having exclusives, you'd look crazy. Finally, the end of petty exclusivity. I have to admit that this is the wildest thing to me, is that everybody is talking about how happy they are about...
Because it's stupid. Exclusives are stupid, bro. I don't know. He hits a real concern. Exclusive fuel innovation and rivalry. Okay, Xbox big acquisitions came because of PlayStation's pressure. Without exclusives, does the fire die out? Maybe, but we're also in an age where ecosystem and services matter as much as exclusives. Quality might shift from platform defining to platform available. Iron sharpens iron, you know? But sometimes iron needs to forge alliances to survive. So there's that.
The end of exclusivity. I've always thought exclusivity was a fascinating concept, because I do think it leads to better games. I do think that it leads to that rivalry. I'm a big fan of iron sharpens iron, right? If you're making a great game, I'm going to be even more pressured to
Didn't I just say that? What the fuck?
make the best game possible, right? I do think that's why Xbox has done so many acquisitions, whether it is Bethesda or Activision and stuff. They're buying it because, okay, we want to have the best possible games day and date on Game Pass, right? But if PlayStation was not churning out as many good games as they were, especially during the PlayStation 4 generation, I don't think that would have lit that fire into the ass of Xbox that eventually led to all those acquisitions, right? What happens when they just stop having exclusives? Will there still be that same competition? Will there still be that same drive? I mean, I'm just in a spot where I'm still trying to figure out what this will end up being. When I see charts like this, even if it is just older games, the idea of something like The Last of Us on Xbox, Demon's Souls on Xbox, man, it just seems so odd.
Shut the fuck up, bro. That's all I gotta say.
So many people, though, are still saying it's only going to be the live service games. I think it's going to be everything. Oh, the tears of unfathomable sadness. Yummy, yummy. Okay, that's good. I want to end this off. Oh my God. I have to say, I did see stuff like this. I think you guys are looking a little too deeply into this. This is the owner and founder of Xbox Era. Who knows what this will actually turn into? I have seen a lot of people say, like, oh my God, this guy's trying to move the goalpost, but it's hard this time. I have to admit, these memes to me are hysterical, and let's face it, well-deserved. A lot of PlayStation fans, myself included, I thought it was ridiculous when they started doing that This Is an Xbox campaign. Doing This Is a PlayStation, that's a good burn. I might steal this and make it the thumbnail. I guess you'll know because you already clicked the video, but oh my God. The PlayStation job listing is 9/11 for Zubitech. Zubitech is like a big PlayStation fanboy account. Oh my God. Okay. I want to take a look at the Reddit here to end off with. This is the Reddit/games, and this is Reddit/gaming leaks and rumors. Gravity Rush game rise up. Look at this. Non-zero chance we get Kratos and Master Chief in a Smash Brothers? No way. We are in the end game. This seems like it's a clear-cut case of why they would do that, no? Their games are...
I mean, the shift is cultural as much as business. PlayStation exclusives on Xbox and vice versa. It feels like sacrilege. But it's inevitable. It's it's fine. Like I personally don't give a shit.
Way too expensive to make and take way too long to come out. They just want to try and make a bigger push to get their games and TV shows and movies, right? 4 games. Hilarious that it's even more transparent than the beginnings of Xbox. Because Xbox started off saying, oh, it's just a couple games. It's not a big deal. And now Xbox has gone full on platform. When it comes to this, Sony is straight up just saying it's everything. It's everything. We're just trying to figure out how and when and where, and we're trying to build the team, but it's going to be everything. God. Could Xbox finally be getting knacked? Stay tuned. But in all seriousness, the more platforms you release games on, the more money you make, and the more games you play. I just think this. People on S Watch on a Friday night, I can tell by the comments, this has ruined plenty of people's weekends. I wonder how this is going to be with the planned, rumored PlayStation handheld coming in the next couple of years. Is Sony going to basically rely on more powerful graphical advantage versus the Nintendo Switch 2 instead of the pure platform exclusives? This is a good question. I think that there has been this idea about how PlayStation is selling well, but Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 in certain parts of the world is absolutely dominant.
I guess Sony wants their games everywhere, but you still want the best PlayStation hardware. You know what I'm saying?
And I do think that part of the reason the Nintendo Switch is selling so well is sort of the idea of portability, which is the fact that
We don't need to see your fucking Switch, bro. Put it away.
a lot of people don't play this that much. I think they said something like 15% of people that own a Nintendo Switch said they predominantly play it handheld. But if you quiz people and ask people, why do you only play on Nintendo Switch? Why are you so dedicated to the Nintendo Switch? A lot of people say, because I can play it handheld. I almost feel like it reminds me of that Walmart paradox, which is that it's not 24-hour anymore, or most Walmarts aren't 24-hour anymore. But when Walmarts were all 24-hour, Walmart was very, very clear about the fact that they said, hey, even though we're not doing a lot of business at 3 a.m., we do way more business at 3 p.m. if you always knew that Walmart is going to be open. If you always know that Walmart's going to be open, you're more inclined to go there. Before Target, before Tom Thumb, you're going to go to Walmart because you always know it's open. I almost wonder if, in a way, PlayStation is trying to copy that mythos. I do think that a lot of
Nintendo's portable dominance shows consumers want flexibility. Sony could be trying to offer the best of both worlds, premium hardware experience and wide software availability. This Walmart open 24/7 strategy is about reliability and ubiquity, not exclusive alone.
the reason that Walmart sells so much, the reason Nintendo Switch sells so much is that you know what you're getting. It is the everywhere thing, right? I wonder if PlayStation is just throwing out a wide net and saying, we want you to play our games anywhere. We know they're best on PlayStation. We know you're going to want to have that PlayStation 5 Pro or the PlayStation 6 because it'll have the best graphics and the coolest controller and haptic triggers and stuff like that. But
yep, had to show his fucking controller, didn't he? We're done here, dude. Fuck him, dude. Fuck this video. At the end of the day, good games win. Platform is secondary, in my opinion. Let's get right to the samurai quote of the day. A warrior does not seek victory in every battle, but in the war. Miyamoto Musashi is who said that. Thanks again for watching another DreamcastGuy reaction video. I do appreciate it. If you want to go ahead and suck my ass, hit that like button.